Hello guys, and welcome to Gulf News coverage of the World T20 Cup. And we're here once again with Anas Sajan, who keeps dressing up for us for some reason. He's always got an occasion to dress up for us. And then we're joined again with Satish, our master of all things and all stats. And we've had an absolute thrilling day again today. We've said Sharjah delivering I think it was a second last ball win, or maybe a last ball win for South Africa over Sri Lanka, before England just showed again their absolute dominance in Dubai. Hi, Anas. We'll say hello to you first.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for the compliment. Hello, Satish. Yes, comprehensive win for England. They showed that they are one of the title favorites by winning all their 3 games comprehensively. And whereas in this earlier game in Sharjah is known to throw thrillers, and it was one of them, where Sri Lanka had their moments, but I'm afraid they let it slip out, and the 2 sixes in the last over paved the way for South Africa.
Okay, and Satish, you just run us through them. If you give me a little, just a little bit of your information there, because you're the master of these things. Look, at one point it looked like Sri Lanka's to lose, and they let victory slip from the jaws of defeat, if that makes any sense. The sixes just came, and it's like they had like some sort of stage fright, or did South Africa just have too much to deliver?
2 things. Maybe if it had been a late game under light, the wicket could have been different. But since it was a day game, things were slightly better, because generally the day games, the wickets don't change drastically because of the dew factor, of course. Number one. And second, Sri Lanka is still an inexperienced team. That also plays a big role in like these crucial final moments. So, but of course, South Africa is also a team in the making. They are also in the rebuilding process, but some of these guys have been veterans, and it's a mix of old and the youth. So there is some confidence in the team, because obviously the guys who are they have played for a long time, they push it, and then they educate the other youngsters who come in. So that rubs off on the youngsters who are there. So that would have been the big difference, Matt.
Mm-hmm. And Anas, obviously there's a loss to Australia, quite a big damaging loss in terms of run rate, and a vital victory for South Africa here, which is taking them above them in the standings. Now, Group 1 looks, I think we know who's going to win Group 1, but this kind of really blows into the, like, who's going to join them in the semi-finals.
Well, to be very honest, I'm glad you mentioned this point, Matt. England looks to top the group, because not only they won the 3 games comprehensively, they won it with such a huge margin that the net run rate, even if they drop a game, they still might be at number 1.
Their net run rate's almost a 4.
Yeah,
so Australia
3.5 is the number.
3.9.
Yeah.
So Australia has lost a game. South Africa has lost a game. Sri Lanka has lost 2 games. So England has to top the group. So England will top the group even if they drop a game, unless they lose 2 games. That is the last 2 games against whichever teams you play. Then there's a chance, but it doesn't look like. So I am just making another call that it is going to be India versus England semi-final and Pakistan versus Australia. So coming back to the game of, especially in the morning game, South Africa versus Sri Lanka. There was a sitter dropped by Kusal Perera when Bhuwama was hardly on anything and he was struggling. Had he taken that chance, in fact, umpire declared it as wide, which was a bit strange, but there was a clear sneakometer sound. But such things happen in the game of cricket, and it cost dearly to be very end in the end to Sri Lanka. They should have won it, because both teams, as Satish mentioned, are inexperienced. But when you have opportunities, you have to grab it with both hands.
And a hat-trick going begging, like a wonderful show there.
Now, I'd actually reported when I was doing it earlier online, I said, this is South Africa's game to lose now. And lose it they did. So sometimes those things happen. But they have to take this on the chin. They still got a chance. They still everybody still got a chance for that second spot. Maybe, we can discount maybe West Indies,
I was back at South Africa to come there.
I'll back Australia. Mark my words.
Yeah, no, but I do agree with Anis. I think that I think it will be Australia and England, and it will be Pakistan and India. But we're jumping ahead there a little bit. We've still got a lot of games to go in Group 2. But the clear thing, I think, is England are the team to beat. I think it doesn't matter who they're up against. They're on an absolute flyer.
True.
Yes.
True. And that is where I think I'll really go against Anis Bhai. If Australia is going to lose so badly, and I don't think they're going to get any confidence out of it, and that's number one. Number two, it clearly shows that if they get a good start, they will do well. If they don't, then the middle order is completely exposed. So that's where I think Australia is. Whereas if you look at South Africa, even on tough situations, they have managed to come out. They if A is not performing, B is performing. If B is not performing, C is performing. So it's like they're playing like a team. Whereas in Australian case, you need to get that start, and one or two players from the openers, either it is Warner or Finch, has to be there till the last for them to even get 125. That doesn't talk very good about the batting lineup of Australia.
But you see, Sham, Australia needs to play Bangladesh and they needs to play West Indies. Both teams have not been doing well, whereas South Africa has to play England.
Correct.
And that's not going to be easy.
Australia versus West Indies will be the big game. West Indies could spoil Australia's party.
But okay, so now let me ask you a simple question, Sham. Is Australia versus West Indies a strong? West Indies is a stronger team, or England stronger team to South Africa?
No, England obviously. England is obviously a stronger team, and South Africa is having a stronger opponent, no doubt about it. They are that is no easy game there. That is, I'm talking about easy for England to beat South Africa because they are overwhelming favorite there.
So that's why I feel Australia will go through. But strange things happen. You never know. South Africa on their day can stun England.
Absolutely.
I think that the one thing that
bowling lineup. South Africa has got a very, very good bowling lineup.
The one good thing that obviously maybe knocked South Africa off their stride and could have cost them today, but it didn't, is the Quinton de Kock factor. Now, he took the knee today. We got that out of the way. He did what he said. He apologized and everything was fine. But how much of that has do we think maybe dented a little bit of the dressing room within South Africa?
Difficult to say, Matt. You know what? I'm afraid such things come into the fray when a big tournament is going on. But I want to answer to your last question that England looks a different proposition. But mind you, all the three matches, they have won the toss and fielded. I need to see when they bat first, because what has happened, any team which has been batting first has been losing the match in Dubai. So if they are going to bat second in a knockout game or in a crunch game, we need to see how England cope up to.
And for that matter, in the entire Super 12, only two teams have won batting first. And of which only one team has won the toss and elected to bat in the entire Super 12 tournament.
Afghanistan
against Scotland. And the second
so they won it even here against Pakistan. They decided
had to bring it up.
None of the teams are going to put take batting when they win the toss, because the due factor is a big factor there.
I know, absolutely. I mean, all these things are valid in terms of where we're going. But the key things, obviously, we look ahead to Group 2 tomorrow, and a lot of things become a lot more clear because everybody's played 3 games now in Group 1. Group 2 is a lot more fluid because some guys have played 1, some guys have played 3, and we don't quite know where we're going, and especially when you've got unknown factors such as Namibia. But Afghanistan take on Namibia tomorrow, and India have a huge game against New Zealand. What do we think about that one?
Well, I have to say that 1 week break for India must have done a world of good for them. For 2 things. One, they have played a long IPL, so they needed that little bit of rest. No excuses for them going down to Pakistan. But second, they would have gone back to the drawing boards to rectify what mistakes they did. They're going to come across Bolt, what Shaheen Afridi has done to them, so they would not make the same mistake. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Even if they bat first, no matter what, I feel India will come all guns firing on the bogey team New Zealand, which has always beaten them. I have a strong feeling India will get past New Zealand.
But that doesn't take anything away from the New Zealand threat, does it, Satish?
No, it doesn't.
No, but I would, a couple of things I would like to say is there is a huge difference in the pace of Shaheen Afridi and Trent Bolt. Though they would try to do certain things, but that 10-kilometer speed at between 140 to 150 makes a big difference in your batting. Secondly, I would say the New Zealand batting is a bit suspect. So I would say that is where they might actually lose the match, because even including Kane Williamson, that's where I saw, like last time after 3 fours in the previous over, edgy Kane Williamson was going for a quick single, normally which he wouldn't have done. He's such a talented player. So that shows that, no, like as a batsman, as a captain, he's thinking beautifully, but as a batsman, he's still edgy. That's where I see that there is a bit of a weakness there, which India can explore. And these conditions, you don't swing the ball much. So I won't say Saudi or a Trent Bolt being such a threat to India. They might come up with some variations like the slow bouncers and all that, which I think the Indian batters will be ready to play. And I think I will also go with Anis Bhai. It is India will be the favorite tomorrow to win. But
I'll add one more point, Satish.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut you in the middle. I want Varun Chakravarti to be unleashed in the first 4 overs. I don't want him to be kept back. India has to just unleash him in front of, because none of the New Zealanders have played him except Williamson. They got to go for the kill because they don't know to play spin so well. So just unleash Varun Chakravarti.
Absolutely, absolutely. That'll be a good ploy. Of course, yes, correct.
I think we've seen that.
Toss again will play a big role. Of course, today when Kohli was talking about it in the press conference, he said he can't do anything. You have 2 choices: one, bank completely on the toss, or go out and take and do whatever you can and take the challenge. I think that's where they are ready to do that, which I'm sure they have a very good attitude that way.
Yeah, I think we've seen that a lot of times, especially from England. Just going for the kill really does, the game can be done even before you're coming out to bat. But we shall see. Thank you so much. I also like to clarify to our viewers as well that Satish is not driving at the moment. He's actually parked in a very safe place, and he is not talking to us on camera as he's driving down the Sheikh Zayed Road.
I'm stationed here and I'm safe, and I would like to be a good example, not a bad example.
Of course. It's just we see the traffic in the background. We're just making sure our readers know that too, and our viewers know that too. Guys, as we know, thank you, Anis. Thank you, Satish. You got to stop dressing up for us, sir. And we shall be back.
I quite like it. You're looking good, Anis bhai. Very good.
Thank you. Matt, remember my semi-finalists? England plays India. Pakistan play Australia. Remember this.
I absolutely agree. That's my prediction as well.
I would like to change in India versus England, Pakistan versus South Africa.
And the 2 finalists, India versus Pakistan.
I go with it.
All right. I'm thinking it's going to be an England-Pakistan final, but we shall see. But anyway, like I say, guys, you can all get onto gulfnews.com for all analyses, videos, predictions, previews, and all the live coverage as usual. Thank you so much to Satish, and thank you to Anis, our new James Bond, and we shall see you all tomorrow.